Hey guys, it's your average, ordinary, everyday Adrienople, and today I'm going to be doing another episode of The Deed. And today I think I have an idea of how to play this game now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to either try to frame someone or let's see what we can do. Alright, so let's just hop on into the game. Pilgrim Adventures. Skip intro. Good evening, Mr. Aaron. May I take your coat? I'll just say, of course, this time. Because last time, the weapon was his fencing sword if we kept the coat. But I don't really see a reason to have that right now. Sophie is my name. I recognize you from your pictures. Blah, 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 blah. I've been busy. Okay. Yep. I know all of this already. Okay. Now, let's get started. So my theory is, first thing I'm gonna try and maybe frame Sophia. Because last time I remember when we were talking to our mother at dinner time, there was an option where I could say whether Sophia and my sister were in a relationship. And remember the garments we found in our sister's room? Well, I can use those to frame her as evidence. So, let's see. Here's my sister's room. Okay, Okay. Yes, I'm sure. Perhaps the plan is already beginning to form in your mind. Yes, there is a plan, my friend. A very genius plan, and you guys will see my plan very soon. Alright, so now back downstairs. And to not be suspicious, I'm going to first talk to my mom, then my dad, and then I'm going to lie about saying I talked to my sister. So Aaron, you finally managed to make it up here for a visit. Please tell me you aren't. I'm here to make amends. This sounds for a long time. For what it's worth, I apologize for any stress that my behavior has caused you over the years. Okay, I'll be honest, I really hate the sound playing the music right now. It's, ugh. Whew. I've not seen her this bad in a long time. Do you remember that summer when she was with the razor in the back? Yes, I remember. That was the last time I remember seeing her like this. So yes, to answer your question, I won't remember. Ooh, I know. You guys remember how, with the rope, the guy suggested that maybe she could have been trying to commit suicide? I have a feeling that in this game, there's an option to be able to do everything, like blame our mom, our dad, the maid, the butler, and then maybe blame our sister, as in say she committed suicide. So, the way I see it, there's like 5 options. So, we'll see if we can do them all. Now, see our dad. Even now, the familiar musty cell of your father's library fills you with dread as you step inside. Hello, Father. It's obvious why I'm here. Happy answer. Another day where I can watch my life's work crumble into nothing. You know, I'm gonna almost know my things are hit the hill. Blah 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 blah. Okay, now that we talked to our dad, now it's time. We have the undergarments to blame the maid, and I do remember seeing the broken mirror, and we could take a shard of the glass, so we're gonna do that next. So down the stairs we go to the maid's quarters. You know, it's kind of sad that the maid has to live like in the very basement of the house, like the dirtiest, grungiest place. Okay, a broken mirror sits upon the maid's desk. Odds are it belongs to your sister, and the maid has been hiding it here after accidentally breaking it. A shard of glass from the mirror would be a poetic murder weapon. Take the broken glass. Are you sure you want to take the broken glass? Remember, you can only pick up 2 objects. Yes, I am very sure. You take the sharpest piece of the broken glass and hide it on your person for later. Perfect. Now it's dinner time. Again, a bell invites me. This time to dinner, it seems. Alright, let's go. Sophia, can you come here a moment? Yes, ma'am. Pour me some more wine. Yes, ma'am. But madame, oh, what is it, George? I must protest. It has always been my duty to pour the wine at dinner. Oh, well, I don't want to cause any trouble. Nonsense. What does it matter, George? Stop being overly... Come on, George. Come on. Just stay out of it, boy. If your mother wants the girl to pour the wine, then the girl will pour the wine. Of course, sir. My apologies. An interfering little rat, isn't he, Daddy? Yes, he is. Why can't you ever keep your mouth shut, boy? Or, you're right. I'm sorry. I must have blah, 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 blah. Alright, so this is around the part when I have the option to, like, suggest that they're together. This one. Will you two stop flirting with each other? Really, you two don't need to broadcast your affection so obviously in public. I'm sorry, Mr. Aaron. I never... Shush, rat. Go crawl into a hole somewhere. That's quite enough of your silly jokes, Aaron. Anyway, let's not forget why we are here today. To celebrate your father's birthday. Such a very important occasion for us all. You are so dear to us, Malcolm. Happy birthday, Daddy. Indeed, happy birthday, Father. Let's hope it'll be one to remember. Oh, it certainly will. Alright, now is the time to quickly plant any items of evidence we have. To do so, simply enter the desired room and select the item in your inventory. When you are ready, enter the drawing room to do the deed. Alright, so now we're going to go plant our sister's undergarments in the maid's room, and then we're going to kill the sister with a broken piece of the mirror that was also in the maid's room, as to suggest that she was the one responsible for the murder. So let's see if this works. Items. Yes. In your pocket. Do you want to plant this item of evidence in this room? Yes. You decide to conceal this item underneath the maid's pillow. That ought to be quite incriminating. Indeed it is. Now let's go. Yeah, I'm hoping this will take no longer than maybe this episode, no more than like 10-15 minutes, so we'll see how long this is, and once we know, then maybe I can do another episode soon. Are you sure you want to enter to the drawing room? Yes, I am. That music, though, every time. You see Jennifer staring out the window ahead of you, lost in one of her strange moods. She hasn't noticed you entered the drawing room. Now is the time. Broken glass. Your sister cries out in surprise as you grab her from behind, and you quickly muffle those cries with one hand before pressing the shard of broken glass against her throat. She struggles violently as you cut her throat open, but you manage to hold her in place until finally she goes limp. You drop her lifeless body to the ground, along with the broken glass. It's time to leave the room before your deed is discovered. Alright, oh, yeah, gotta go right now, gotta go. Up the stairs, to our room, quickly. It sounds like my deed has been discovered.
Good evening, everyone. I am Chief Inspector Winston Lewis. I understand that this is a difficult time for your family. You're right, it is. I want to know what you're doing wasting time in here while my daughter's killer is still out there. Well, Mr. Bruce, we have found no evidence of forced entry, and nobody was seen entering or leaving the house. It would seem entirely possible, then, that the killer is in this very room. What? No! That seems highly unlikely, Inspector. Perhaps it is. However, in order to follow protocol, I will have to interview each of you in turn. Mrs. Bruce, would you like to meet me in the library first?
I suppose so.
Alright.
The interview. Thank you for joining me in here, Mr. Bruce. I'm sure this won't take long. Before we begin, I'll need to search your person. Best to get these formalities out of the way. Is this really necessary? I'm afraid so. Turn around, please. Okay, another thing I noticed, guys, was that last time I was picking up 2 weapons instead of 1 and 1 piece of evidence. That's why whenever he searched us, he found another weapon on us because we only dropped the one that we used to kill her. So that means no matter what we do, we have to have 1 piece of evidence and 1 weapon, or else we might become suspicious for having a weapon with us in the house. So, yeah. Now that's out of the way, let's move on to the interview. Yes. As you know, I've already spoken to everyone else. We have also now completed our initial search of the house, but we'll get to that later. Let's start from the beginning, shall we? First of all, we will run through all your activities since your arrival. The maid says that you and the butler arrived shortly after 7 o'clock. She greeted you at the door. Later on, you had a conversation with your mother, Gloria, in the parlor. She told me that you were unusually cordial, something about wanting to apologize and make amends. Yes, I wanted to clear the air between myself and the family. I see. Do you think it's slightly suspicious that you suddenly want to reconcile after all this time? No, I don't think so. Very well, then. She says you spoke briefly about your sister. Apparently you seem quite concerned about her well-being. Actually... Okay. Really, I was more concerned about my mother. She seemed tired and desperate. I'm sure that dealing with my sister for so many years has taken its toll on her. Your mother has behaving unusually then? She was not herself. I see. You went to see your father in the library. I understand your conversation became quite heated. My father has a very short fuse. Many of our conversations go that way. Will you say he's a violent temper? Absolutely. I see. That's good to know. You discussed the prospect of your moving back to Dunshall. You refuse to do so under any circumstances. I understand. Yes. My father fails to accept the fact that I have my own life now. I can't just move back here. Of course not. That's completely understandable. Did you speak to your sister before dinner? No, I did not. No, I didn't see Jennifer. Very well, then. Let's move on to the events that took place during dinner. I understand there was an argument involving the butler. You felt he was being treated unfairly? Someone has to stand up for the servants around here. My family treats them like dirt. Indeed. It was good for you to do so, Mr. Bruce. At one point you made the accusation that the maid and your sister were in some sort of inappropriate relationship. It seemed obvious enough to me, the way those two were carrying on. My parents were just oblivious to it. You believe your sister was in a lesbian relationship with the maid? Almost certainly. Interesting. Now, I need to ascertain your location at the time of your sister's death. Where were you when you heard the maid scream? Upstairs. I was in the guest bedroom. I see. Thank you. As I said earlier, we have completed our initial search of the property. The search did not turn up any items which gave me cause to suspect anyone in particular. I am curious about the murder weapon. The broken glass seems to have come from one of your sister's mirrors. We found the rest of it in the maid's room. However, we can't rule out suicide, especially given your sister's mental condition and her obsession with mirrors. It is all very interesting. I'll be completely honest with you now, Mr. Bruce. I can find no fault or suspicion in your behavior leading up to your sister's death. While there is some suspicion regarding your father, I don't currently regard him as a serious suspect. I also think the evidence surrounding the maid might be worth another look. Yes! Okay. Despite any question marks about your mother, I don't think for a moment that she did this. Despite her condition, I don't believe your sister committed suicide. Now, as far as what happened, you're free to go. I think another interview with the maid will be required also. A verdict of suicide seems unlikely. Okay, so last time he suspected us and said he'd take us to the station. This time he says we're free to go. Since you had given the police no reason to suspect you, Sophia the maid quickly became the prime suspect in the case and was arrested shortly afterwards. The trial was long and not without controversy, but eventually the jury returned a guilty verdict. The case caused quite a scandal in the national media. Excuse me. And Sophia gained a lot of unwanted celebrity in the process. She became known in the public imagination as the killer chambermaid. With no other heirs remaining, your father reversed his plans to cut you out of his will. When your parents died, you inherited everything. Dunshall House was yours, along with the fortune that came with it. However, George the butler found himself unable to continue serving in the place after what had happened. Yes, we did it. We did it. We did it. Yeah, we did it. Okay. As you spent many long, sleepless nights wandering through the rooms of the house, you found that its emptiness was reflected within yourself. You had become hollow inside, free of everything but the nightmares that continued to haunt you. Yay. Alright, that was pretty awesome. We actually finally successfully blamed someone else. So what I'm getting on is, like I said earlier, that there's several ways I think we can end this game. So next time I'm gonna either try to accuse my sister, make it seem my sister commit suicide, or I'm actually really interested on how I'm gonna blame my mother for this. I really want to see. That seems like it would be the difficultest one, because it seems like she's the person that's cared about the sister the most throughout her life. So it's like, why would she kill her? But we'll see. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, subscribe down below and leave a like and a comment down below on what you think I should do in my next Let's Play video. And I will see you guys in the next video. So, Adrienople out. Bye guys.